And let's break those voting numbers down a little further. Here's a look at who Indiana voters backed in the presidential race. About 60% of voters backed former President Donald Trump. Indiana traditionally votes Republican. A Democratic candidate has only won the state twice since 1964. Barack Obama did it in 2008 and Lyndon B. Johnson in 1964.
And here's a look at how Kentucky voted. 65% of the state backed Trump. The numbers were flipped, though. Here in Jefferson County, about 57% backed Harris, but she still fell short of an upset. Kentucky has not backed a Democratic candidate for president since Bill Clinton in 1996.
And now to one, if not one of the biggest issues on the Kentucky ballot. We're talking about Amendment 2.
Yeah, so that measure, which asks voters if public tax dollars should be spent on private schools, failed. Our Shaquille Lord is live in studio this morning with the details. Shaq, a lot of eyes were on this.
That's exactly right, Carrie and Dallas. Good morning. And on Amendment 2, it failed overwhelmingly, with more than 60% of voters voting against it. Now, voters were asked whether state lawmakers should be allowed to change the state's constitution to allow public tax dollars to be spent on private schools. Now, this has been one of the state's hot button issues for months. And from the start, Amendment 2 was going to be a tough sell, specifically in rural areas where public schools are often the largest employers in a county. Also, there aren't many private schools in rural areas. So for many, they may not feel like vouchers would benefit them. And on Tuesday, voters spoke loud and clear on the ballot.
Amendment 2 gives the opportunity for the people to vote, and they clearly made a statement that they want public dollars going to public education. So I'm just really pleased with that outcome. And I think it's really in the state of Kentucky, and really it's I think a signal across the nation what people want, which is to support our public schools.
Disappointment, honestly, because I really felt that Amendment 2 would bring choice in a very positive way to a number of families and students, but it didn't pass, and there was a lot of advertisements that I was seeing to vote against it, and it was an uphill battle, but I think it is where it is. So the voters have spoken, and it was defeated, and you know we'll continue to work in any way we can as a party to help our school system.
And just as a reminder, back in December of 2022, the Kentucky Supreme Court struck down a Republican-backed school voucher program as well. In the studio this morning, I'm Shaquille Lord. Carrie, we'll send it back to you.
Thank you, Shaq. Kentucky Amendment 1 was also a big issue. It asked voters if they were in favor of requiring citizenship to vote. Now, that amendment passed with more than 60% of the vote. A lot of people thought it was already illegal for non-citizens to vote, and it is, but GOP lawmakers said they just wanted to strengthen the law by adding language to the state constitution.
Across the river, Indiana has a new governor. Former Senator Republican Mike Braun has defeated Democratic challenger Jennifer McCormick.
Yeah, the win will make Braun the fourth consecutive Republican governor in the Hoosier state. For more on the win and Braun's reaction, we're going to our Sam Carter, who is live in Big Four Station this morning with the latest. Sam?
Yeah, good morning, ladies. Indiana state voters took to the ballot boxes yesterday, and they spoke loud and clear about the direction of their state, and now they have a brand new governor-elect. With almost 90% of precincts reporting in, 1.4 million votes were cast for Braun, giving him an unassailable 54% of all ballots cast. Now, last night, in his victory speech, Governor-elect Braun outlined his grand vision for the crossroads of America.
If you've got good principles and you stick to them, regardless of what you pursue, if you stick to them, you'll end up in the long run doing okay. And then I come back to faith, family, and community. We've been blessed beyond any measure. All I can tell you is now we've jumped this hurdle, this hard deadline, and really, I can't wait to hit the ground running, taking this state to a place where they put us with Texas, Florida, Tennessee.
Now, as for his defeated challenger, Jennifer McCormick, she said she called Braun to congratulate him and released a statement saying, quote, "While the outcome is disappointing, I know we waged a campaign based on hope and optimism, not one of fear and chaos. I'm so incredibly thankful for the millions of Hoosiers who voted and made their voices heard." Now, Braun will remain governor-elect until he replaces outgoing Governor Holcomb in January. Holcomb reached the end of his term limit in Big Four Station Park in Jeffersonville. Sam Carter, WLKY News.
Sam, thank you very much. Mike Braun gave up his U.S. Senate seat to run for governor. Republican Jim Banks is projected to replace him in the Senate, winning easily over Democrat Valerie McRae and Libertarian Andrew Horning. Banks has served in the Indiana House since 2017.
And we've got more results coming up after the break. But if you want to look at them now, you can go to our website or check out the mobile app.